Hey everyone, come close, this one's going to feel like a knife twist, but it ends with the kind of justice that makes you finally breathe again. Imagine your own father looking you dead in the eyes, in front of 43 people at your birthday dinner, candles still burning on the cake, and saying, "I wish you were never born." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. My stepmother nodded like he'd just commented on the weather. My half-sister lifted her phone and kept recording. That was 4 months ago. Since then I haven't raised my voice, haven't cried in front of anyone, but I did something that made my father call me 17 times in one night. By the 18th call his voice wasn't angry anymore. It was begging. Before I tell you what I did, if this already has your heart racing or your stomach in knots, smash that like button right now. Subscribe if you want more stories of people who turned cruelty into unbreakable power. Drop in the comments, where are you watching from and what time is it there? I read every single one. My name is Nora Callahan. I'm 26, living in a small apartment in Savannah, Georgia. 4 months ago my father Harlan Callahan said those words at my own birthday dinner in a private room at Rossini's Italian restaurant. 43 people heard it. Candles still flickering. Cake untouched. I sat there in my navy dress, lipstick fresh, hair curled, and felt something inside me finally snap, not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet, permanent fracture. But before that night, let me take you back 3 days, to the moment I realized the party wasn't for me at all. The Callahan family looked perfect from the curb. Our 2-story brick house on Forsyth Park had the white picket fence, wraparound porch, magnolia tree Dad planted when he proposed to Mom. Dad ran Callahan Freight, biggest trucking fleet in coastal Georgia. Mom, Emily, died when I was 9, pneumonia complications after I was born. Dad never forgave me for it. Never said it outright. Didn't have to. It lived in the silences, skipped school plays, the way he'd look at me and see something missing. He remarried when I was 12. Linda Voss became Linda Callahan. She brought Lila, 2 years younger. Overnight the house changed. My room moved to the attic. Mom's photos came down. Linda's went up. Lila got the big bedroom with bay window. I got the attic with slanted ceiling and single bulb. Lila was golden child. Dad called her princess. Mom called her perfect. I was leftover. Passed plates, cleared tables, kept quiet. Dad said daughters didn't need big dreams. You'll marry well, Nora. That's your job. I learned early. When Lila wanted piano lessons, Dad paid. When I asked, he laughed. What for? You'll never play for anyone. I worked summer jobs from 15, waitressing, tutoring, cashier at Dad's hardware store. Saved every dollar. Paid my own community college tuition. Graduated nursing school 3.9 GPA. Worked 12-hour shifts at Memorial Health. Paid mortgage, utilities, insurance, $2,900/month auto pay from my account. Dad never thanked me. Never asked. Just kept spending. 3 nights before birthday, I came home from double shift at 1:30 a.m. house dark, except kitchen light. Voices. Low. Deliberate. I stopped on stairs. Held breath. Linda first, we announce it at her birthday. 43 people. If she says no in front, she looks selfish. If yes, problem solved. Dad slower, if she makes scene, cut her off. She's got no one else. I pressed against wall. Scrubs damp from work. Hands shaking. They were talking about my savings, $68,000. 6 years overtime, skipped vacations, hospital cafeteria leftovers. Money supposed to be my way out. Down payment on condo. Life not revolving around their bills. Linda, she owes this family. Time to collect. Dad, she'll do it. She always does. I backed upstairs. Heart slamming. Sat on bed in attic 2 hours. Didn't cry. Thought every payment, every silent dinner, every time I swallowed no because afraid what happened if said it. Grandma Beatrice, Dad's mother, died 2 years ago. Only one who ever made me feel belonged. Called me Quiet Storm. Came every graduation, every pinning ceremony. Before passing, held hand in ICU. Keep family together, my girl. They'll fall apart without you. Believed her. Stayed. Paid. But that night, something shifted. Didn't know what yet. But moving. Next morning sat in car hospital parking lot. Made call putting off 2 years. Margaret Calloway, 64, estate attorney, Grandma Beatrice's closest friend. Grandma mentioned once, voice weak hospital bed. If ever need understand what I left behind, call Margaret. Wrote number on receipt. Kept in wallet. Untouched through grief, bills, silence. Margaret answered first ring. Nora Callahan. Your grandmother told me you'd call eventually. I need know what she left. Think need know now. Come office. Things Beatrice wanted you know when ready. Scheduled week after birthday. Whatever coming, needed survive Saturday first. That afternoon Lila found me kitchen. Held left hand, diamond ring sparkling. You helping my wedding, right? Smiled. Dad says you have savings. Looked ring. Looked face. Wasn't cruel. Genuinely believed existed fund her life. Hurt worse. We'll talk later, I said. Didn't know what Margaret had. But knew Grandma Beatrice never did anything without reason. Deliberate. About recipes, gardens, Sunday calls. Deliberate about this. If you've ever realized family's love came with price tag, comment. What would you do if planned announce it at your birthday? Where are you? What time? Because what happened Saturday night changed everything. The private dining room at Rossini's smelled like garlic bread, red wine, and expensive perfume. 43 guests sat around long tables, candles flickering on white linens, laughter bouncing off exposed brick walls. My birthday cake sat at the end of the buffet, chocolate, my favorite, candles still burning, wax dripping onto the plate. Nobody had sung. Nobody had clapped. The banner above read Happy Birthday, Tula, in gold cursive. It felt like a prop now. I sat at the small table near the kitchen door, place card still in my hand, navy dress suddenly feeling too tight. The main table, 5 chairs under the banner, was for Dad, Linda, Lila, Lila's fiancé Derek, and Dad's college friend. I was the overflow. The extra chair nobody noticed until the announcement. Dad stood with the wireless mic. His voice filled the room like it always did, deep, commanding, the same tone he used to close freight deals. Tonight is special, he began, turning to Lila. Not just for Tula's birthday, but because our beautiful Lila is engaged. The room erupted. Applause. Squeals. Chairs scraped back as people stood to hug Lila. She rose, hand extended, diamond catching pendant light like a tiny spotlight. For 10 minutes my birthday vanished. Aunt Patricia clasped Lila's hand. Cousin Hannah snapped photos for Instagram. Linda stood behind Lila, beaming like she'd won a prize. No one looked at me. No one lit my candles. The cake sat untouched. Then Dad turned the mic toward me. Tula, honey, come here for a second. 43 faces swiveled. I stood. Walked to the main table. Heels clicked on tile. Dad put a hand on my shoulder, firm, performative. Family takes care of family, he said to the room. And now that Lila's big day is coming, we need to pull together. He looked at me. Tula has been very responsible with her finances. She's been saving for years, and I know she'll want to help her sister have the wedding she deserves. The squeeze on my shoulder said, agree. Linda leaned forward, dabbing her eye with a napkin, practiced gesture. It's what your mother would have wanted, Tula. Emily. My dead mother. Used as guilt in front of 43 witnesses. I felt blood rise to my face. Pulse loud in my ears. This is my birthday dinner, I said. Voice steady, quiet. Can we not do this here? Dad's smile thinned. Hand dropped. Another time, he said. Shook his head slowly. You always say another time, Tula. Not now. Never when it matters. Volume climbed, not shouting, commanding. I have given you a home, a family. 20 years of patience, and you can't do this one thing. Room held its breath, forks down. Napkin still. I looked around. Aunt Patricia stared at plate. Cousin Hannah gripped water glass. Lila filmed, phone tilted, red dot blinking. I looked at Dad. I'm not giving away my savings. That money is for my future. Silence stretched. Dad stared. Jaw tight. Something behind his eyes went flat. Then he said it. I wish you were never born. Not screamed. Stated. Factual. Final. Room froze. Sound vanished. I heard kitchen clink behind wall. Instrumental music overhead suddenly obscene, like flute at car accident. Aunt Patricia set fork down slowly. Linda nodded once, small, certain. Lila's phone still pointed. Hand shaking, but didn't lower it. Derek pushed chair back slightly. Jaw tight. Recognition, not pity. I felt crack inside chest. Not break. Crack, like ice on pond early spring. Quiet. Deep. Fracture you can't see from surface. I looked at Dad. Looked at room full of people who heard those words and chose silence. Picked up napkin from table. Folded once, twice. Set neatly beside untouched water glass. Looked around room one more time. 43 people. Some stared plates. Some looked at Dad. Few looked at me. Pity? Shock? Didn't matter. I turned to room. Said only thing left. Thank you all for coming to my birthday. Picked up bag from chair back. Walked across dining room. Pushed through door. Night air hit like cold water. Made it to car in parking lot before hands started shaking. Sat behind wheel 3 minutes. Gripping. Breathing through nose like coaching patient through panic. Then reached for phone. One contact. One call. Margaret Calloway picked up first ring at 10:15 Saturday night. Margaret, I said. I want to come in tomorrow. I'm ready. Pause. Then calm, unsurprised. I'll have everything prepared, Nora. 9 a.m. Hung up. Didn't know what everything meant. Didn't know what Grandma Beatrice left or why Margaret waited 2 years for my call. Knew one thing, Grandma never did anything without reason. Deliberate. About recipes. Gardens. Sunday calls. Deliberate about this. If you've ever heard words from a parent that rewrote who you thought you were, comment below. What did you do next? Where are you? What time? Because Sunday morning, the real story began. Sunday morning. Margaret Calloway's office smelled like old books, fresh coffee, and lemon polish. The building was downtown Savannah, red brick, tall windows, elevator that creaked like it remembered every passenger. Margaret's office on the 4th floor had floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a mahogany desk, and a single orchid on the windowsill. She greeted me at the door, 64, gray blazer, reading glasses on a chain, calm eyes that saw everything. Nora, she said, shaking my hand firmly. Come in. I've been waiting for this day. I sat in the leather chair across from her desk. Hands folded. Heart still racing from last night. Margaret didn't rush. She poured coffee from a carafe, black, strong, handed me a mug, then placed a thick manila envelope on the desk between us. Your grandmother Beatrice was deliberate, she began. She came to me 3 years before she passed. She said, Margaret, my son Gerald is going to try to break this girl. When she's ready, give her this. Margaret slid the envelope toward me. Yellowed at edges. Sealed with red wax stamped with BH for Beatrice Hayes. On front, in Grandma's handwriting, only to be opened when Nora Callahan comes to Margaret Calloway seeking help. After my death. I broke the seal. Hands trembling. Inside, 3 items. First, notarized document. Certificate of ownership transfer. Property at 412, Burwood Lane, our family home, deeded to Nora E. Callahan. Date, 2 years before Grandma died. Recorded with county clerk. Signature witnessed by Margaret and Uncle Roy. Second, bank statements. 4 years of payments. Mortgage, insurance, taxes, utilities. $134,000 total. All from my checking account. All highlighted. All autopay I set up. Proof I'd carried the house. Third, Grandma's letter. 2 pages. Her elegant script. My dearest Nora. If you're reading this, I'm gone and you've finally asked for help. I'm sorry it took so long. I watched your father turn love into a transaction. I watched him blame you for Emily's death. I watched him elevate Lila and diminish you. I couldn't save my daughter. But I could save you. The house was never in Gerald's name. I bought it in 1987. I kept title in my name. When he married Linda, I let them live there. But I never transferred ownership. I waited for the day you needed proof you weren't a burden. You're not. You're the only one who kept that house standing. The savings you built? Keep them. They're yours. The house is yours. Live there, sell it, rent it, your choice. Gerald will fight. He'll call you ungrateful. Let him. He built nothing. You built everything. You don't owe anyone your obedience. Especially not family that treats love like a leash. Live free, my quiet storm. All my love forever. Grandma Beatrice. I pressed the letter to my chest. Tears came hot, silent. Margaret waited. No rush. She knew, I whispered. She did, Margaret said. She knew Gerald's patterns. Knew he'd try to control you through money, guilt, silence. She planned for the day you'd stop accepting it. I looked at the deed. My name. Not Dad's. Not Linda's. Mine. What now? I asked. Margaret opened a second folder. You have options. You can evict them. 60-day notice. Or sell. Or rent to them, market rate. You decide. I'll handle the paperwork. I stared at the orchid on the windowsill. White petals. Delicate. Strong stem. I want them out, I said. But not cruelly. They have 60 days. No extensions. Margaret nodded. I'll draft the notice today. Certified mail. They'll receive it tomorrow. I exhaled. Felt weight lift, not gone, but lighter. That night I sat in my attic room one last time. Packed suitcase. Duffel bag. Only things that were mine: clothes, nursing license frame, photo of grandma and me at county fair. Left everything else. Kitchen table, envelope. For years bank statements. Mortgage, insurance, tax, utilities. $134,000 highlighted. No note. No explanation. Just numbers. Zipped jacket. Picked up bags. Walked to front door. Hallway dark. House smelled like Linda's lavender diffuser and old carpet. Lived here 20 years. Paid for it 4. Turned knob. Stepped outside. Pulled door shut. Soft click. Final. Loaded car. Drove east. Sky turning pink. Didn't look back. If you've ever left a house you paid for but never owned emotionally, comment. What did you leave behind? Where are you? What time? Because Monday morning, the notice arrived. Monday morning. The house on Burwood Lane woke to silence. No footsteps in the hallway. No coffee brewing. No radio playing Dad's old country station. Linda came downstairs first, robe tied loose, hair in curlers. She noticed the kitchen counter empty except for one white envelope. No note. No goodbye. Just my name on the front in my handwriting. She picked it up. Turned it over. Felt the weight. Opened it slowly. Pages. Dozens. Bank statements. 4 years. Mortgage payments. Insurance premiums. Property taxes. Utilities. Every line highlighted. Every withdrawal from my account. Total $134,000. Linda sat at the table. Hands flat on the papers. Didn't speak. Didn't move. Gerald came down next. Saw her face. Saw the envelope. What is it? She pushed the stack toward him without a word. He read. Skimmed. Then read again. Slower. His jaw tightened. Veins stood out on his neck. This is impossible. This is our house. Linda looked up. Voice flat. It's in her name. Always was. Gerald flipped pages. Found the deed copy Margaret included. Recorded. Notarized. His mother's signature. Uncle Roy's witness line. No forgery. No mistake. He dropped the papers. Stood. Paced. She can't do this. She can't just. She can, Linda said. She paid for it. Every month. From her paycheck. We never paid a cent. Gerald stopped pacing. Looked at Linda like she'd slapped him. You knew? I suspected. I didn't ask. I didn't want to know. The room went quiet. Only sound, clock ticking on the wall. Tick. 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 Gerald picked up his phone. Called me. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. Third time he left a message. Voice shaking, not angry, desperate. Nora. Tula, whatever you're doing, stop. We can talk. Come home. We'll fix this. Please. I listened to it in my new apartment. Studio. 400 square feet, clean walls. One window overlooking a quiet street. Coffee maker humming. I saved the voicemail. Didn't reply. By afternoon the notice arrived. Certified mail. Margaret's firm letterhead. 60-day notice to vacate. Legal. Clean. No emotion. Just facts. Gerald tore it open in the driveway. Reed standing there. Sun hot on his neck. Paper shook in his hands. Linda watched from the porch. Didn't speak. He walked inside. Threw the notice on the table. She's serious. Linda nodded. She is. Belle came home from work. Saw the papers. Saw Dad's face. What's happening? Gerald looked at her. Your sister is evicting us. Belle laughed once, short, disbelieving. Then saw the deed copy. Saw the date. Saw Grandma Beatrice's signature. Laughter died. She sat. Hard. But, the house is ours. Not anymore, Linda said. That night Gerald called Uncle Roy. First time in 2 years. Roy answered. What do you want, Gerald? I need help. She's kicking us out. I don't have anywhere. You have somewhere, Roy said. My spare room. But you come alone. Linda and Lila can find their own place. And one rule, you don't speak her name like that under my roof. Gerald hung up. Didn't argue. 2 days later they moved out. Not because 60 days were up. Because mortgage was past due. Electric and collections. Gerald couldn't pay. Couldn't ask me. Wouldn't. Roy took Gerald in. Spare bedroom. Garage for boxes. Cooked dinner first night. No lecture. Just food on the table. Linda and Lila moved to a small apartment downtown. First time Linda paid rent in 15 years. First time Lila had to budget. I didn't watch them move. Didn't need to. Roy told me later. Said Gerald stood in the driveway with a box of files. Looked at the house like he'd never seen it before. Then got in his truck. Drove away. I sat in my studio. One lamp on. Coffee cooling. Looked at Grandma Beatrice's photo on the wall. Me and her at county fair. I'm 11. She's laughing. I'm holding cotton candy. Both smiling like nothing could touch us. I whispered, thank you. If you've ever had to watch the people who hurt you finally face consequences, comment below. How did it feel? Relief? Sadness? Both? Where are you? What time? Because the real reckoning was still coming. Months slipped by. Savannah summers turned golden, then crisp with fall. My studio apartment on East Broad Street became my sanctuary, big windows letting in morning light, coffee maker humming, one plant on the sill Grandma Beatrice would have loved. I woke without panic. No attic creaks. No waiting for approval. Just mornings that were mine. I still worked at Memorial Health, 12-hour shifts, night rotations, tired that sits behind your eyes. But now when I checked my bank account, the number was mine. Every dollar earned, every dollar spent, accounted for on my terms. No autopay to a house that never felt like home. No guilt for saying no. Mom called every other Sunday. Conversations started awkward. She asked about work. I told her. She listened, no but Lila, no comparisons. One call she said, I'm proud of you, Nora. Should have said it sooner. Let words land. Didn't rush forgiveness. Just, thank you, Mom. Dad wrote a letter, 3 pages, handwritten. I see now how blind I was. Thought providing meant enough. Wrong. Sorry, Nora. Truly. Read it 3 times. Didn't reply yet. Needed time to believe words. Lila texted once. Short. I'm sorry. For everything. I didn't see you. Replied, I hear you. Keep growing. No rush. No promises. Door cracked, not wide open, not slammed. Uncle Roy became family in a way Dad never was. Sunday dinners at his place. He cooked, steak, potatoes, nothing fancy. We talked about Grandma Beatrice. He laughed remembering her stubborn streak. She always knew you'd make it, he said. She told me, that girl's got steel in her spine. I started small rituals. Friday nights, darkroom time. Printed photos from shifts, patients smiling after surgery, nurses laughing in break room, sunrise over Forsyth Park. Hung them on walls. No filter. No pose. Just truth. One evening sat on balcony. City lights glowing. Grandma Beatrice's photo beside me. Lifted Nikon she gave when I was 15. Framed skyline. Clicked shutter. Developed film next day. Watched image appear in tray, honest, raw, beautiful. Framed it. Hung beside her photo. Me and her at county fair. Now beside, Savannah at dusk. My Savannah. Whispered, thank you. That night balcony again. City alive below. Phone silent, no emergencies, no guilt trips, no demands. Just me. If you've ever had to rebuild after family tried to erase you, comment below. What was first thing you did for yourself? How did freedom taste? Where are you watching from? What time? Because sweetest revenge isn't pain returned. It's living fully in light they tried to keep you from. Thank you for staying through all 5 parts. If this story touched part of you that's ever felt invisible, know you're seen here. You deserve windows. You deserve light. You deserve to be main character in your own life. Smash like if you felt this. Subscribe for more real stories of quiet comebacks. Next one, they said I'd never make it. Watch what happened. Take care of yourself first. You've always deserved it. Until next time, keep chasing your light.